Hello and welcome to day 3, beautiful soul. I'm happy to see you, or not see you, but sense your energy. This is the Angel Lady Terry Marie, and this is the 9-day challenge, Raise Your Vibration for Success and Prosperity. Shelly and I were chit-chatting a little bit before we got officially started, and she was talking about, and I asked her how things were going, and she was saying that going good overall and things are getting stirred up, and that is the whole entire purpose for this challenge, because if you're continuing the same pattern, then you're not doing yourself, your purpose, your message, and even your energy and your own goals and desires any good, because it's like a vicious circle. You know, a thought starts here and a thought starts there, and then you get pulled backwards. And I'm being given this image, and they give this one to me often. It's like a bucket of crabs, and the bucket's half full, and most of the crabs will stay there, you know, and the ones on the bottom are pretty much crushed by this moment. Hey, Gina, you're welcome to join us by camera if you'd like. You don't have to. And anyway, so the crabs, some of them will start to climb up the sides, and the other ones in the bucket will pull them down. That's exactly what your conscious mind, ego, chitter chatter does. Those negative thoughts, the feelings, and the emotions will pull you backwards, or attempt to. Now, most often they will, until you practice getting out of that loop. So like 80% of the time, you'll just say, yeah, okay, got it, thank you, and move on. And the other 20%, maybe a little bit less than that, depending upon how practiced you are at recognizing, oh, you know, like what's that song? Another One Bites the Dust. I can't say it in the same way, but you all get the idea. You know, it's another thought bites the dust, or another desire, or whatever. And so once you start recognizing them, then it becomes easier just to say, yeah, okay, before it gets full blown and you have to really go through a whole lot of process. And sometimes you're just going to have to go through process. So we talked about self-worth yesterday. I'm not going to go over that too much. I am just going to do a review of the homework or action step, because it's just real important. And then we're going to dive right into our topic today, which is energy is for subjects, which is phenomenal. Okay, so I came up with a couple of names for, depending upon which area or which way you start doing your gratitude, appreciation, love, or thank you, or I have. So I didn't come up with all of them yet, but attitude of gratitude, love fest, appreciation avalanche, and I didn't come up with have or thank you. So maybe y'all could come up with, you know, kind of cool titles to name that. You know, appreciate, attitude of gratitude, it kind of is an umbrella, but it depends on what you are using as your pre-statement. So we talked about, I love my car, I love my house, I love my garden, la 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 la. I love having food in the pantry, I love having money in the bank, pocket, coffee can, whatever, okay? The same kind of thing with I am grateful for, thank you for, I have. See, I thank you, gratitude, thank you, gratitude, have, love, appreciate, and I appreciate. And that appreciation piece, thank you guys, you can use this to help heal a relationship, whether it's with yourself or with someone else. It can be a friend, a coworker, a loved one. And this one would be in your mind. And if you just find 3 to 5 things that you appreciate about the person, and don't be making BS up, because it'll backfire. So if you have a friend who, you know, things have kind of on the outs with, and, you know, what do you appreciate? I appreciate you always knocking on my door. I appreciate that you're always there for me. I appreciate the way you hug me. I appreciate the way you listen. I appreciate that we go to coffee, you know, those kinds of things. And that's going to start changing the energy within you. Of course, it's going to, one of the ways that you can raise your vibration. Yeah, you can do it that way too. Just a second. Let me take a note. Sorry, I didn't have everything ready. Appreciate. Okay. All right, so this must be our action step for today. Okay, cool. All right. So there you go. Okay, so anyway, that's what you do. When you appreciate someone in this way, you're changing the energy between you within yourself first, and you're kind of creating a short circuit or a bypass of exchanging the same energy, especially if y'all have just had an argument or a disagreement or a falling out of some kind. Now, if a friendship or a relationship has ended, this doesn't mean it's going to come back, but it does mean that you're not going to have as much negativity. You're going to actually soften it for yourself and get out of that loop of sharing or exchanging negativity. So that leads us right into, any questions about that? And add a new level to all things of gratitude. Absolutely. Yes, Tina, it absolutely does do that. Okay, so the chat box is open. And let's see, energy is 4 subjects: fear, love, letting go, and receiving. Okay, any questions about that before we just dive in, or any comments or anything you'd like to share about what you've been doing so far and how you feel in your experiences? Okay, so let's move on. Most of us, can you talk? Yes, okay. Go ahead, Tina, you're live.
Well, you know, it was interesting because I was struggling yesterday. I had been working on, you know, obviously doing the letter to release and the challenges that we talked about in how I did that process.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still obviously have, you know, things in front of me that challenge me to stay in my power of seeing the positive in things. And of course, yesterday it really was a full day of struggle for me to shut down that ego chitter chatter and not let the worry and fear take a grasp on me. Even though I was successful on a lot of levels, it did affect my emotional state because it was constant work of inaction all day long.
Mm-hmm.
It was, you know, no, I'm not going to let that, you know, take a grip on me and bring me down to my knees. I'm not going to do that. But there's always that residual that's there. And when you're in that place and you're not completely letting it go and taking yourself to another place. I was doing other things to redirect my energy and to rechannel, but there was that undercurrent and I was aware of that. Last night I did not sleep. I was up all night trying to reconcile the issue, and I was successful in able to reconcile the situation and finally get a few hours sleep this morning. I found when I did my gratitude journaling this morning, doing it your way, in the sense of not listing, which I've been doing for a very, very long time. And we've talked about that I do so much of it that it's pages. And by actually writing the full statement out, I am so grateful for I love that. You know, you get into that sentence of the moment, and it brings you to a whole different level than just saying, I am so grateful for, and then you list all these things, because your mind is on the list and not the emotion that ties with the actual statement of, I am so grateful for.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It was a completely different experience for me. And even
Good.
though it was challenging, I found that it wasn't necessary to make my 3-page list.
No.
It wasn't focused on, oh, I don't want to leave anything out, you know.
Exactly. Exactly. So thank you for sharing that. If you have something else you want to share, just take a moment or two, because we've got a lot to cover today,
No,
gorgeous.
that was it. I really want it, because it really completely shifted where I was yesterday, today.
Good. Good. Thank you for sharing that. And yes, when you write out the pre-statement, and I don't really care, and neither do the angels, which one works best for you, and you can change it up. I love, I have, thank you for, I'm grateful for, I appreciate. When you do that, you're appreciating that thing, that person, that experience, that situation. And this morning, you know, I opened up the front door, and there's a package at my front door. I said, I don't remember ordering anything recently. I've gotten everything that I ordered. Lo and behold, a package or an order that I had placed in January arrived. Now, I have since had the replacement, but there it is. And I was just jumping up and down and smiling and saying, hey, thank you, because here's this extra something. And I was not expecting it. And this is what, 5 months later, it arrives. So, you know, just by being appreciative and grateful for, and if you don't have time to sit down and write it, you can say it in your head, but don't get in that habit, because it's not anywhere close to powerful. It's okay in a pinch, but just take the time to write it out. Okay, so energy has 4 subjects: fear, love, letting go, and receiving. Shelley had a day of struggle. I'm going to put my glasses on so I'm not squinting here. Had a day of struggle too. One thing triggered and she crashed. Good for you. Then she used her essential oils a lot, took walks, and sat in her garden. The crash, in a sense, although they're really uncomfortable, and I hate it when I crash, because it can be the total opposite of what you see and the total opposite of the energy that I'm sharing with you to varying degrees. And the crash is good because you're actually getting rid of the you-know-what stuff that hits the fan. And see it as, wow, I can really sense your deep-seated emotion. It was like, wow, you were doing good, and here's this crash, and so you got upset with yourself crashing. Don't. Or try to get out of that part of it as soon as you can, because the crash is actually kind of like a, how do we want to say that, guys? Yeah, okay. An instantaneous reset. It's like a major dump of energy. It's like all of a sudden, boom, holy moly, in other words that I don't say on camera, on the video. The cool part about it is it's like an instantaneous release, and you're actually purging that much energy in a short amount of time. It's like, wow, trigger, boom, gone. And then you get to rebuild. And this is part of the cycle where when you can get to that part, because when you're in the middle of it, do not work with affirmations, try to turn the sucker around. Just be in the moment and allow some of that, or as much of that energy and those emotions to flow through you. Now, this is not permission to stay stuck like on a hamster wheel, because there's a difference between honoring and just kind of sitting through it, whether you watch stupid TV or read romance novels or whatever, or combinations thereof. You know, I like to watch stupid TV because it gives my conscious mind a rest. And the angels give me time to allow my physical self to catch up. So the crash, that's also good, thank you. The crash is also your physical self catching up with your spiritual self. So it's not just a reset and a purge, it is all of that, but it's also OMG moments. And it is, you've done the work mentally and emotionally, even energetically, so that your spiritual self is like, okay, we've taken this nice leap now. But the conscious mind, ego, chitter chatters are going, oh yeah, you think so? You want to see? Let me show you. Yank. Let me show you what button just got pushed. And let's see how much you do with that. Let's see if you actually go forward. Now, you get to choose how much forward you go. Now, you can take a step back or actually just stay where you are, and it's going to feel like everything is falling apart. And the good news is some of it is. You want it to fall apart. You want it to fall away because you don't need that anymore. That's a good analogy. It's like the rocket ship going up to Mars or to the moon. It gets rid of the parts that it no longer needs so that it's lighter and propels you forward. So drink. Because stuff is coming up in the throat chakra already, which is good. That means y'all were clearing stuff out, which is excellent. So that's part of the fear-based energy. Everything that's fear-based, and we talked a little bit about this in a warm-up video or something like that, but the fear is, let's take anger as an example. It's the easiest one. In anger, there is hatred, there's frustration, there's stress, there's tension, there's irritation, there is that's all I can think of at the top of my head. So love, let's talk about harmony and how many different facets or aspects there are of harmony, which is part of or one of the emotions in love. So anything that is negative is fear-based. Anything that is positive is love-based. And within those, there are varying degrees and aspects, perspectives. So within harmony, there's bliss, peacefulness. There's, that's an action, guys. The angels are saying meditation, but perhaps the meditative state rather than the action of meditating. So let's see, harmony, bliss, peacefulness, silence, just sitting and being in the silence, being still. Whatever harmony means for you. Yeah, that's a good one. Being in the zone. Just being in that zone of knowing. And within knowing, you can have trust and faith and just absolute serenity. When you get triggered, when you have a crash, you're actually working with one of the other energies, which is letting go. You're letting go of junk, of rubbish, of stuff, BS, self-sabotage, what somebody said to you, your feelings about making money, having money, charging clients, keeping money, let's see, self-worth, value, that you should be seen and not heard, and even then not so seen because then that's too loud, la la la. My dad used to say when we were growing up, if he could see us chewing gum, it was too loud. I never understood that. It's like, if my mouth's not open and I'm not chomping and making noise, how is it that if you see it, it's too loud? Well, I get it now, but I didn't when I was growing up. It's like, okay, so if I'm behaving and my mouth is closed, I didn't understand that. So in other words, he didn't want to see me, while I was chewing gum, but the message my little girl got was he didn't want to see me. Okay, so you let go of whatever the insecurities are, any of those things, whatever it was that triggered you yesterday, Shelley, that's part of, first it started off with fear, you were working with love, and then when you got triggered and crashed, hey Donna, welcome, beautiful. Then you started working with the letting go process. And letting go can take as long as 30 seconds, 30 minutes, a day, a couple days. That doesn't mean you're going to be incapacitated or you can't continue to work through something or do your job or your business or whatever it is. Sometimes it does, but not always. Okay, so I feel I'm really out of it now. I think it was 2 weeks ago. So 2 weeks ago, so prior 60 days, I had been in and out of not exactly a roller coaster, but I was working through a whole bunch of stuff that I'm not even sure I could put into words, and I'm not sure it would be appropriate. But suffice it to say that I have been working on getting to my own next level vibrationally and for my business, and it's not just the business part, but for me, my business is my life. My life is my business, and what this means to me is being able to show up and do this, for an example. Because this idea for the 9-day challenge started in, I think it was February, and apparently I wasn't ready, more than intellectually to do this, because it requires showing up every single day and knowing what topics we're going to talk about and the action steps. And I don't always know that ahead of time. I do now because yesterday morning we had a download, so I wrote it all down. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to recapture that. So the whole point is you can work through. And so you may have 2 or 3 good days and then a day or a half a day or an hour where, everything is just, you feel like you're knocked on your batukas. So go with it. Don't force it. And things will get done. And the point is, if you try to do something when you're in the letting go period and the energy's not there to do you're going to end up doing it half-assed. It's going to have crappy energy, or it's going to backfire. So why do it? Because you're not in the right space, you're not in the right energy, you're not in the right emotion. It's not coming from the heart and soul, it's coming from conscious mind, ego, gotta get this done. And I've been there, but I quit doing that years ago because I just have to redo it, or it wouldn't deliver what it was supposed to, because I wasn't in the right space. Hope that makes sense. That's letting go. So when you have worked through the letting go, and you may either still be working through the letting go, Shelley, or already having done it, not sure. And Tina, you've done the letting go. You were able to reconcile whatever the it was. And the gratitude homework this morning that you did really helped to reset that for you. Now, y'all are going to be in the receiving mode. Now, here's the cool part. You don't have to go through fear, trigger, and crash in order to receive. You do have to let go of something in order to receive. So now once you start receiving, let's say clients, you get to let go of the fear of them canceling, backing out, not honoring the commitment, maybe not even showing up. Let's see, what else? That these are the only clients you're ever going to get, or, there's a whole variety of scenarios that can go with this. Perhaps somebody's been laid off, and it's like you'll never, ever, 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 ever going to find another job because the economy, this and that. Well, the more junk you buy into from everybody else's stuff, that makes it much more difficult for you to work through your own, because you've got theirs and yours. And Lord knows I have enough of my own to go through. Every time I up level, every time the angels want me to work on another book or another project, another program, it's like, okay, it's not, oh my God, here we go. Used to be. Now it's, okay, let me finish this, and I write down the ideas so that I don't lose them and they don't occupy space. So in a way, I'm letting go. Okay, so just a second. I'm just getting new information. All right. Are there any questions or any comments about any one of these or all of these? And if y'all would rather speak it rather than type it in the chat box, that's okay with me. Just put in the chat box and we'll unmute you for that. You're good. Okay, Tina's good. Donna, Shelley, Gina, anything, any questions, any comments, anything you want to share? And you don't have to. I'm just wanting to check in with you to see if this is speaking to you, if it's resonating, if you have any questions about it. Okay? I'm here for you. All right, what else? So letting go. That's a good thing too. So if you're letting go, here's a good story or an analogy. If you have your hands full, and I'm going to put them up so y'all can see them. Shelley's good too, thank you. Okay, so if your hands are full, and let's say you have, that's a nice one. Your hands are full of these beautiful quartz crystal points, okay? And you have 20 in your hands, because that's all you can, maybe your hands will hold more, I don't know. So, but then you see a really big piece. Maybe you see a piece of angel aura. Get it back here, okay? But you can't pick it up because your hands are full. But you really want that one, but you don't want to let go of anything you have. Well, you get to choose, keep what you have, and miss out on that piece of angel aura quartz or a bigger piece of clear quartz. Or you get to put a couple of pieces down and make space. Does that make sense with some of the thoughts? So if some of the thoughts like money doesn't grow on trees, for example, or there are only so many clients, or you're never, let's see. Yeah, well, you could use more appendage. Well, yeah, you could pick them up with your feet or your mouth if you wanted to, but still, you're occupying other space. So if you pick something up with your mouth, then how are you going to speak your message or speak what you need to say or say what you need to speak, whatever? So yes, you could use other appendages, absolutely. You could put it on top of your head, but even to do that, you got to put everything down to put it on top of your head and pick everything back up. So the whole point is, if you have a sack that holds 10 pounds and you got 15 in it and you want to put something new in it, you've got to take 16 out. And if y'all don't work with pounds and you work with kilos, same difference, just change it. 16 kilos, you're going to take sack that holds 15 kilos, holds 10, and you've got 15, you got to take 16 out to put something new in. So, and the conscious mind ego chitter chatter is going to challenge you. That's its job. We're brought up and taught with fear. This is probably not something new, but let's hear it from a different perspective, because even if you've heard us speak this before, you're in a different place. So hopefully it will confirm, validate, or trigger something else that you can let go of. Forgot what it was, so I guess it wasn't important. All right, letting go. When you That's true too. So part of the letting go process, you could, instead of the I can't, and we talked a little bit about that yesterday, what can you do? So maybe it only requires you to put one crystal down to pick them up, pick up the new one. Or, oh, forgiveness. Okay, that's pretty big. All right, Balthiel. Got it. Just a second. Okay, so apparently we're going to be working with Angel Balthiel. I'll put that in the chat box so you can see how he spells his name. He is the Angel of Forgiveness, Balthiel, B-A-L-T-H-I-E-L, Angel of Forgiveness. Here's where most people have a real hard time with forgiveness, because somebody wronged them, somebody hurt them, somebody betrayed them, somebody stuck a knife in their back, somebody threw them under the bus. We all have had those experiences, and perhaps we've done the same to others, sometimes knowingly, sometimes not so much. Here's the thing about forgiveness. If you don't, you're the one who pays the bigger price. And I say it this way because you're on your path. Now, it's affecting the other person to some degree, but we're not concerned about them because we're not. And if they were here, then we would be concerned with them too. However, this is about you. And the whole idea about forgiveness is releasing you from continuing to exchange negative energy about a subject or an experience or a person. Okay, just for a moment, think of something, and I promise I won't leave you here, but think of something, not the thing that you were working with yesterday, Tina. I don't want you to re-engage that. But think of, and not something that triggered you yesterday, Shelley, okay? But think of something, maybe 5 years, 10 years ago that just really upset you, okay? So just take a moment and do that and feel it. Okay, that's enough. The conscious mind doesn't know the difference, and neither does, that's true. I'm wanted to say subconscious, but I'm getting the words superconscious, so that's what we're going to use. The superconscious doesn't know the difference, because that's where you pulled the memory out of, or the file box in your conscious mind, doesn't know the difference between right now, 10 years ago. Now, think of something really happy that you were really excited about, really grateful for. Just the package at my front door this morning, It doesn't have to be huge. It could be finding a dollar bill, or, I don't know, getting a call from a friend. Think of something that really excited and delighted you. We're going to stay in that for a little bit longer than the other one. Okay? Conscious mind, the superconscious, doesn't know the difference between yesterday, 10 years ago, or right now. Because every time you think of something, you feel something, it's right now. It's now. So that's why we were talking about either in day 1 or day 2, when junk comes up, you say, thank you, that was then, and this is now. Or you can leave the thank you part out, but that was then and this is now. Meaning that's behind, and now things are different. But all you have to say is that was then and this is now, meaning it's not the same. We literally can create our own reality, and we are. We're just mostly creating crap we don't want, we don't like. And occasionally we're getting the good stuff. And what is it? A friend of mine a couple weeks ago got some bad news about some dental work. And this just goes to show you the conscious mind goes to the junky part right off the bat, I mean, from 0 to 100 miles an hour in a 10-mile-an-hour zone, like you can't even believe. She got some bad news. She went to the dentist, and she had to have some bridge work and a couple of crowns, and it was going to be $3,500. And she was freaked out. Well, that's understandable. I mean, who has $3,500 in their pocket? Well, maybe some people do, but even if you do, it's a huge unexpected expense, not to mention the time and healing and all of that stuff. Come to find out, insurance covered 3/4 of it. So she wasn't going to have to pay $3,500. Now, the copay still hefty, but you see where the conscious mind goes, the chitter chatter? I mean, it's just like, boom. Oh my God, it's $3,500. Well, no, it's not. And you can probably make payments. But that's not what the conscious mind does. It goes off on a tear because things are going pretty good. So let's see what we can do to screw it up for you. Okay? Let's see what we can do to screw it up. Oh, you're doing consistent income and you're doing really good and you've got extra money. Well, let me fix that for you. Oh, you think you're at the next level and doing better? Let me fix that for you. So that's why it's important to do these action steps. Now, some of them you don't have to do every day, like the letter writing. That's not necessary. You can journal the good things that are happening. You can list what you've accomplished. Okay, let me see here what Tina's got. Tina says something. Rick, her husband, and I hit on that one last night. My angel Balthiel is talking to me about this. I told him that I have not let go of something that he said to me that I've never let go of, and his statement to me last night brought it all back up again. Absolutely. Now, here's the other piece of this. Just because you let go and do the forgiveness work doesn't mean the other person's going to. But when the thing gets thrown back up in your face, it will not affect you the same way. Maybe the first time will be a sting. It'll still be less than if you hadn't done the work. Does that make sense? Okay. We need to do, all right. Any questions? Any other comments or shares at the moment? Okay. How do we want it? I'm going to close my eyes for a moment because I know what the action step is. I want to check in to make sure that I'm going to be, that I've got it correct, because I'm getting a little bit of, I know the way I do it or way I have done it and taught it before, but I want to make sure that I'm getting it correct for this time because it feels a little bit different. So just a moment, please. Okay. Okay. All right. So I'm going to make a note here. Talk about in the moment channeling for y'all. This is it. Except now you're seeing me do it. And I used to do that just by audio. So y'all wouldn't know that part. That's okay. 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 Yeah, I just hope I can read that angel's writing later, Balthiel's writing. Okay, so here's the homework or action step. Oh my goodness. See, that was 25 years ago if you hadn't let go of it. How much space, energy, and emotion is that taking up inside of you? And that's a rhetorical question because you have an idea about that. But these things that have been coming up for you, the ones that you are experiencing, they're deeply rooted and deeply seated and have been coming up more or all the time. They may just have been showing themselves differently. Okay? Like the car needs a battery. Well, I'll take an example out of my own myself this morning. Checking my bank accounts, they're all good. You know, everything is hunky-dory, got lots in there. And yet, I wasn't anticipating the yearly fee for my Planet Fitness membership. And I went, okay. I wasn't expecting it. I didn't know when it was going to come through, but I wasn't expecting it. And so there's an unexpected thing. And that could have, and probably 6 months, a year ago, I would have had to take an hour to just really work with myself to say, okay, no, it wasn't expected at this time, and, you know, go through it. But it was 30 seconds. It's not a big deal. It happens every year. I just didn't remember it. I would have programmed it in. But it's just an example of how the conscious mind ego chitter chatter can trip you up. So here's the action step in the homework. Okay. Okay, so here it is. You're going to write down, and it may take you an hour, or you may come back to it throughout the day, okay? You're going to write down every negative thing that you can remember that was ever said to you. You don't have to identify the person, that isn't it. It's just anything that was ever said to you when you were growing up, or you said to yourself. What else is it, both of y'all? Negative thoughts, emotions, how you feel about yourself, your body, your income, your business, your career, relationships, experiences, what you did do, what you didn't do. We're calling this, the name's not coming to me just at the moment. Maybe it will by the time of the end of the call. A purge. It's like a huge purge. And then once you're done with it, you're going to burn it. Do not reread the list. No rereading. Okay? And then the other part of that is, once you've done, and if you just want to do it for an hour, I'm not saying you have to sit for an hour and do it, but just do it. And then if you want to, maybe it'll continue throughout the day, that's fine. But at a certain point, say, okay, thank you, and then burn it. Now, if you have the feeling or the nudge intuitively to keep going with it, that's fine. I would burn at the end of today. And if you feel like you have more to do tomorrow, then do that, but do it on a fresh piece, but burn what you have. Okay? No rereading. No going back over it. Did I say it right? No. This is just kind of like a brainstorm. Oh, brain purge. Okay, brain purge of one sort. Okay? And then you're going to start writing down some positive things that have happened that you say to yourself, that people have said to you, whether you believe it or not. Okay? So positive experiences, feelings. I really like the way so-and-so my blue dress looks on me. I like it when I take myself out to, you know, then you're starting to reprogram. So it's a purge and reset. That's what it is. Okay. Purge and reset. Okay. And no rereading it, and then burn it. The name of the angel again, yes, absolutely. It is Balthiel, Balthiel. Okay. You're welcome. All right, so I know we're close to the top of the hour. Are y'all willing to stay just a teensy bit longer for the meditation today? I told you we had a lot today. Okay, we all good? And if you need to go, that's fine. Then you just catch it on the replay. So pens and pencils down. Excellent. Thank you. I'm going to take a sip. Okay. Close your eyes. Feet flat on the ground. Listen to the sound of our voice. Oh, okay. So we've been working with Balthiel, and Nathaniel is the one who's coming in for the meditation. Awesome. Nathaniel is the angel of fire and purification. Oh, I love this. Now, he wants me to reassure you that you are perfectly safe and no harm is going to come to you. And he's going to bathe us in a ring of fire to burn off everything that we no longer need, no longer serves, no longer resonates, and has been holding us back all this time. If you feel the need, there is a fire hose and some firemen standing by your side. If it gets too hot, you are welcome to step out of the ring and take a refreshing shower, not blast from the fire hose, but just take a refreshing, cool shower, okay? Angel Nathaniel is with you, and so is Balthiel. Thank you. And Archangel Michael is showing up as well. Raphael for healing and Jophiel for unconditional love. The primary for this meditation is Nathaniel. Angel Nathaniel takes you by the hand and leads you into this beautiful room. It's already quite warm. It's almost hot, and your body starts to perspire. Place into Nathaniel's hand at least one thing, one thought, one feeling, one emotion or experience, or even a bygone relationship that you want to be free of and to let go of wholly and completely. Put this into Nathaniel's hands. Bless it. Say thank you. You now have my permission to leave. Say that silently to yourself. Thank you. You now have my permission to leave. You are free to go now. And watch that thing, that emotion, thought, experience, bygone relationship or situation turn into a butterfly that then turns into flames and just simply disappears in smoke into the ethers, into the universe, to be absorbed and healed. See the ashes that are left turn into twinkles of stardust and just falling around your feet. This is part of the rebirth, renewing, and regeneration process. To fill the void with positive energy, emotion, and feelings. You look up and see that you're inside a huge ring of fire. It's about 3 feet from you, and yet you can feel the intensity, and some of the flames kind of jump out at you a little bit, stopping just short of your body so that you are perfectly safe and protected at all times. And yet you can feel the layers of everything that you have wanted to let go of, that you have worked at letting go of before now, just simply melt and dissolve. The lessons you retain so that you do not have to repeat them. But the triggering and the negativity simply dissolves. Good. Let go. Let go. Let go. Breathe in and breathe out. You see the flames begin to get smaller, and the room that you're in becomes cooler until the flames are just 1 or 2 inches in height. And now the circle of flame and fire is totally extinguished. It is out. Feel the coolness of the room. Feel your body cool to its natural, normal temperature, comfortable for you. Nathaniel has been holding your hand this whole time, and he's still with you. And all the other angels, Jophiel, Raphael, Mishael, and Balthiel, are with you as well. They've been just outside the ring, holding hands, with their wings touching tip to tip, as if there's a protective barrier or filter so that nothing except positive, unconditional love, healing, and clearing comes into you and touches you. Nathaniel has a gift for you. Open your heart and allow him to place that in your heart. Y'all are already holding hands, so with your other hand, your free hand, place that on Nathaniel's heart, and Nathaniel places his free hand on your heart so that y'all are exchanging energy. He's taking from you all that you are willing to release and giving you all you are willing to accept. Thank Nathaniel and the other angels for being with you, for guiding you, for gifting you with their healing, their love, clearing, and come back to this place and to this time. And let me know when y'all are back. You're welcome. Tina is back and Donna is back. Excellent. Gina may be not back yet. Shelly, you're back. I can see your beautiful eyes open. Excellent. All right, ladies. And if there are a few gents with us later on watching the replay, just sit with this energy for a bit. If you don't have to get up and do something, just stay here in the energy for a little while, maybe 10 minutes or so. You can get up and, as they say, move about the cabin and just kind of maybe go into a garden or whatever. All right. Thank you so much. And we will, oh yes, I wanted to tell you tomorrow for sure, the daily challenge lesson and action step are going to be recorded. So you'll receive an email about that. And I'm not sure about Sunday. I may try to go ahead and do that live with you or not. I don't know yet. I haven't gotten clear guidance on that, but for tomorrow for sure. So you'll still have it. We'll be continuing every day. okay? All right, so until next time, and in group, keep on doing the work. You're doing amazing. I am so proud of each and every one of you. Bye-bye.